Welcome, gamers of all sorts of sizes, to Crushing Games. I'm Crusher, and this is
Zomby.
And we, today, are doing a review on Detroit Become Human. But not just an ordinary review, doing a special review. Just this case. No. Basically, this review is going to be our opinions on the game as we played it. Being a gamer that has platinumed it, played it all the way through, and a gamer that actually hasn't spent much time on it at all, to get our viewpoints on the game, as well as go through how we like it and key points of the story. So, just give you a warning right now, there possibly might be spoilers. So, this is your warning. If you don't want to hear anything spoiler related, get out now. That's enough time for a spoiler alert to happen. So, Detroit is a game all about decisions. The decisions you make in the game affect the outcome of each of the three characters that you play as. Those three characters are Marcus, Kara, and Connor. And we'll get into their backstories and what they are a little bit into later in the video. But start off, the game is very beautiful, very graphically done. You can see the dimples on people's faces when they smile. It's a very graphically done game. The characters are really compelling. Same with the story. It's beautiful. I absolutely loved the story. What did you think of the design and the overall effect of the game?
The design's really cool. I'm one of my favorite things in video games, or kind of like science and stuff like that. But science fiction. Couldn't think of it. I wanted to say Scientology. I think that's not right.
Tom Cruise is going to bust in here and be like, "Join!"
Basically. But I really like when they get injured. You can see the kind of like the white, like robotic.
Okay, yeah,
I think that's a really cool feature. And you like their eyes kind of do that too. They've got like there's like a fake eye, and then there's like a real eye kind of underneath it that like lights up.
Well, it's like an LED.
Yeah. And that changes and blah blah blah. I think that's really cool, and how you start the game with the characters and how you see how they are portrayed, like what they're supposed to be, and how the game continues is interesting. My actual least favorite character though is Rookie.
Really? You don't like Connor?
No.
The one that's right here?
I don't like
the
Connor.
best?
I don't like Connor.
Why?
I don't like Connor because I feel like Connor is so like while as Kara and Marcus are their stories are very like they feel like they can go anywhere. That makes sense?
Okay.
Like their story, I don't feel like there's a determined storyline. You know what I mean? Like there's a ton of branching paths. I feel like Connor's is more one or two ways.
All right.
Like he wants to be a cop either way, and his character portrays as he wants to be a cop. While the other two don't really know what they want exactly, and I think that they have a lot more freedom because you can kind of infer what they would want.
Okay.
While as Connor, I feel like he's a cop. He likes being a cop. I mean, I know he's
you got thrusted into the role of the cop.
Yeah.
So you know.
While as the other two are you're literally role playing. You could be anything technically. I mean, I know that they're they have specific roles, but you could technically be anything. While as Connor is your job as a cop. It's not like you can just go be a chef. You're a cop.
Gotcha.
So I mean, it's interesting, but he's my least favorite because I feel like he has less story, as in like he's there to be a set piece for the other two.
All right.
While as the other two can be anything, he is literally there to be the cop.
Okay.
So I like him as a character. I just don't love him as a story plot. If that makes sense. So that's why he's my least favorite. As in,
So who's your favorite?
between the two, honestly. I know that sounds bad, but like I like parts. Like I really love the little robot thing where you're climbing the bodies and stuff.
All right. So Marcus's part, yeah.
I like that part a lot because it shows you like the the use of the robots and like what happens to them. But I like her part because she loves the little girl and she takes care of her. So I love the idea of that too. So there's pieces of each that I really enjoy, and there's pieces of each that I'm like, well, that was dumb. But I digress.
I gotcha. Now, I'll give you a little backstory on each of the three characters that he was actually referring to. Is you have, as I said, Marcus, Kara, and Connor. I'll start with Marcus. Marcus is a prototype android. They actually go through the game. If you actually read the details, they can't identify him as a certain model. He's a prototype given to this famous painter that is of elderly age that is in a wheelchair, so he can't take care of himself. So this painter raises him to be like a son of his own, and he expresses self-feeling and like empathy and all of this emotion that an android would never really see outside of that house. So that is his story. Things go on with that. thing happens in the beginning of the story that separates him from his caregiver, or his caregiver? No, it is taker. What is the word? Marcus is the caregiver. What is it?
He's the caretaker. Marcus is the caretaker.
Yeah.
He takes care of the take
Something. Something happens to the old man, or
well,
or
either way, technically something happens to him. It just depends on
how you do it. So, not to spoil anything in the game in particular. To if you guys want to pick up the game and experience it yourself, we don't want to ruin a crucial part of.
Honestly, that's probably the best part about the game is that technically anything you say could be a spoiler, but at the same time they can make choices that it's not a spoiler.
Exactly. So this small decision in the beginning that may or may not happen affects a little part in the game, like in the middle of the game, and then onwards at the end of the game.
And
little tidbits as you go.
Yeah, like the ad that you find in the paper about the artist.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So whatever happens, there will be a magazine that refers to the incident that happens, and then there will be a scene at the very end of the game where what path you took, a scene will play out differently, and it's very emotional. But Marcus happens that and gets thrown into a junk pile of other androids. He gets discarded, and he has to piece himself together. And while he's piecing himself together, an android grabs him and says, "Go to Jericho." Jericho is a safe haven for androids. So he pieces himself together and tries to find
by taking their dead body parts.
Exactly,
robots.
they weren't going to use them.
It's the most. Well, I mean,
it was
some of them are using them still.
Yeah,
you have the choice.
You have the choice. But he finds them, and you get out, and Marcus searches for Jericho. Moving on to Kara. Kara is a basic run-of-the-mill plain android. That's that's all she is. She is thought to be a maid for a low-income household that's in like a very bad neighborhood, and is actually run by.
Why was she? She wasn't bought.
She's repaired. She was repaired. She was getting picked up by a drug abusive father. It's pretty much the story of that.
Didn't he work for the company or something? That's why he got her.
He worked for something, and then androids took her away, and he's getting disability, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Then go into the story of him. I hated him as a character, and that's the intent of that character is to hate him.
Yeah.
That is his role.
Yeah, that's his role.
But Kara, you get brought back to the house where you're given the care of a little girl, as well as taking care of household duties such as laundry, cooking, cleaning, doing all the things around the house that normal people would do. Event happens in it, and you actually flee with the girl, and you are on your own. So you can flee in different ways. Stuff happens differently. But in my playthrough, I'm going to talk my playthrough on it my first time, just so it's a little bit easier. But you flee and get away. And you pretty much have to take care of this girl through the entire game and try to find her a safe haven or a place to go.
Just eat her.
Eat her. That's basically how I felt, because Kara is my least favorite character. Very least, because she's very bland. She's dumb. I feel there's no character progression because I don't like taking care of the kid. I really don't. It's bad to say. Ugh.
No, it's basically a gigantic escort.
It's an escort mission. I don't like it. But that's Kara's little bit of backstory.
Yeah.
Moving on to Connor. Connor is my favorite character. Favorite all the way. So
I will say Connor has my favorite level, which is the first one.
Detective.
Yes.
There's a lot more of those.
I love those bits. I love the gameplay of Connor. But for a story mode, that's what I mean. But I love all the different outcomes you can have with that animal.
With Connor?
Yeah, when he's got the little girl.
Oh yeah, they do that.
All the outcomes is amazing.
So
I mean, there's like 30 different outcomes for that.
There's a lot. There's a lot. With Connor has since you haven't played it a lot, Connor actually does have a lot of development in it.
Yeah.
So Connor can actually die and come back multiple times because he's an android sent by CyberLife, which is the company that makes all androids. He is the prototype detective android. He's the first of his kind with a better thinking processor or whatever. And he is paired with a rough and tough rogue that is Mr. Krabs. Yes, very excellent character, but he hates androids in the beginning because of an incident that has happened to him, and he gets paired with an android. So we all know that's right there.
It's the plot of iRobot.
Yeah.
Literally.
It is iRobot.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you play this game, it is
It's
iRobot.
Yeah.
But it's great. I like the detective work in it. That's why Connor is my favorite part to play.
Yeah.
Marcus is good. Is just. I'll get to him. I'll talk to him. I'll talk about him. But Connor is he's an android sent by Cyberlife, but he can die multiple times, and they just keep sending a new model.
Now the other two can't.
No, when they die because they were just basic.
Yeah, they're literal just robots. They're androids. They are what they are. Versus he's supposed to be like a slate. You can just transfer.
Yes. So going to it, when he dies, his memory just gets transferred to another one, but some stuff gets corrupted, so he becomes more android-like. So he has no emotion, he has nothing. But if you stay with the same Connor through the entire game, he keeps all the emotion, all the memories, all the experiences throughout it, and Hank trusts him more as a actual person. He starts to empathize with him, and he starts feeling.
I don't think I've died yet.
That's good.
I know I survived the first one.
You'll know there's a part actually in the game towards the end where you actually see each gravestone of all the Connors that you killed and how he died.
Really? That's pretty cool.
There is a segueing into that. There's a trophy, which since I platinumed, I really loved it. It's a very fun platinum. It's a very long. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very long platinum, so don't think it's going to be very quick. But it's a fun process because of one thing: checkpoints. Checkpoints made this game very fun and easy to go through and obtain all of the trophies that were required in the platinum. There is, like Zomby said, there is a trophy for killing Connor in every possible way and him coming back. It's very fun. It's very I wouldn't say difficult. It's time consuming. You gotta know where he can die and where he doesn't need to get hit by a car. There is a part that he has to get.
You have to go across the freeway. They're all.
Yep.
I just did that a little while ago. You chase the one guy down.
Car.
Yeah.
So going from that, Marcus finds Jericho and finds all these pieces of like people, and then you find just a resistance. You find like the outlaws of that time. Granted, I didn't say what year this is. It's 2038. It's coming up. It's coming up.
It's reverse.
It's 18 years.
It's reverse Terminator.
Where they're nice.
No, the robots are resisting against robots.
Yeah.
It's reverse Terminator.
So the what do you call them? Outlaws. The androids that are
Skynet.
Cyberlife. That have awoken in their terms. They are pretty much not subjugated. They are they want to be free. They want to be free. They want to be their own person. They want to be not eradicated. It is
Self-aware.
Well, they are self-aware. They just want to be equalized. What is the word for equalized? Equality. They want equality throughout humans and androids. Going through Marcus, you have the decision on how to deal with every situation that the public sees. So there is a part.
It's Malcolm X versus Martin Luther King. Your choices. It's Malcolm X versus Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted peace through peace. He wanted equality through peace.
Okay.
Malcolm X thought that the way to get equality for his people was to show them, this is how I feel. I want to show you my pain.
Okay. That's exactly it. Yeah.
While Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. wanted to show people that we're all the same. It's exactly the same. It's just one difference. So it literally is Malcolm versus, and they're at the same time, around the same time. That's your choices. It's your paths.
It's actually very correct. There's a part as when you're playing as Marcus, you free a lot of androids, and you do your magic, your self-aware thing. You encode them with like a virus that makes them self-aware.
He does. He goes, "What's the password?" Password.
That's how it does.
Self-aware.
So you free all these androids from a Cyberlife convenience store, and you can choose to either riot peacefully or riot violently. And your choice affects the public. Do they like you? Do they not? It's a really touching moment. There's another part where Marcus is on the street freeing all these androids, and you can choose to riot peacefully or riot
So what
riot
did
softly.
you do?
I did as well. So one of the most emotional parts that I really felt in the game is when you're in the streets walking down and there's a police officer and he says stop with all these androids just coming at him. And you can either keep walking or you can just raise your hands. And I rose my hands as soon as Marcus did. Every other android did, and it sent shivers down my spine. It gave me a very emotional. You just keep walking. It's a very emotional scene. This game is just very, very, really well done. For me, it is. It's got a great story. It's fantastic. But that's Marcus's side. Kara's doesn't have. Who's the thing that makes this? Logic Drink. Right. Yeah. But Kara, the reason I don't is because I don't think there's any more. There was nothing that there's nothing that she was just basically protecting a child throughout the entire game. There's stuff that happens.
It's all self-awareness, but on different scales. So
Yes.
you have Marcus, who's your leader. You have Kara. But Kara, who's, her self-awareness is just about basically do I protect
Protect
this
the child.
kid? And then you have Connor, who is literally a cop.
Yeah, so Connor is, you can either become self-aware or you don't. It's basically his main objective for the entire game: hunt down the revolution. That's it. Because there's murders that happen versus android and human, and laws of robotics. Androids are not supposed to be able to harm a human.
Which I knew about. It's actually there's a ironic part is there's a book. I can't remember who it was. It's where iRobot came from. The laws in that is a legit guy who came up with laws for robots if we ever made them. And the reason he made them was because he was terrified that we would make robots, they would become self-aware and fool us.
That's yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You play God, that's the punishment. When he makes all these rules and says these are like the 10 rules, and they say in the movie that are, that's
Well, it makes it 3. I don't think we want to.
yeah, I think there's so many. I don't know. There's maybe like 5 or 6. I know there's more than the movie, but there's
probably just all written out.
yeah, but that's kind of like the whole point of it. Well, it's interesting that they use that in a way that they use that kind of. And he's a famous writer. I can't think of his name right now, but I think it's like Orson Welles or something. He's a real big writer
Okay.
at one point. And it's a great book if you haven't read it, and it really does. I mean, iRobot is a great tie-in for this game.
Exactly. Hey, I played this game and wanted to watch iRobot.
Yeah.
Granted, liked playing this a little better. Yeah, I like playing this a little better. Will Smith is still a great actor.
iRobot's a bit. It shows its age.
It does.
Yeah,
It does.
It's a bit old.
Because it's basically the same time period as this. It's I think 2035 is when that movie is supposed to happen.
Shia LaBeouf's
He is. He's a
really
rambunctious
young,
teenager.
still really
He's like,
young.
stop cussing, go, son. But
Even Steven, you couldn't get me.
that's how it goes. But yeah, so Connor's sent by that to deal with murders and homicides that are dealt with androids and humans. And then you get a rapport with Hank, which is the cop that you're paired with, and money. And you start either, depending on how you play, he hates you or loves you. That's basically that's the gameplay.
She really
That's-
loves you. It's a secret ending.
It's secret ending. Definitely going through it was a very emotional and great game. It was a fun platformer. And not to say it is a PlayStation exclusive. If you want to play this, play on PlayStation.
It's on PC.
It is on PC.
It's on PC now. You can buy it for PC as of, I don't know, but PlayStation and the Xbox are making an initiative to release their consoles on PC because PC is technically not a competitor because
Yeah, you can't really do.
you can't really.
So it's no longer a PlayStation exclusive. It is on PC now. So if you PC Master Race people want to play it, definitely give it a shot. It's really good. Love it. There was a limited edition. You no longer can get it, but there was a $350 limited edition for a limited run. It was really cool. It came with a lot of cool stuff. Wish we could show it off, but there's no way of actually getting our hands on it as of right now.
Well, this game came out.
This came out a while ago.
2017.
This game came a while ago,
Yeah.
but I wanted to do a review on it just because I wanted to get this on the channel
Yeah,
and
there's nothing
to
wrong
get
with
get our opinions out there and have a little bit of a longer talk about the game. And basically, that's. Do you have any last words before we rate it? Before we do anything? And
If you're looking for something equally to this, Quantic Dreams. Is that Games?
Yes.
That's what I say. I don't know why I can't remember. I know it's Quantic, but they make Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, the DLC for Heavy Rain, which is like a little side thing, and then this. Those are your 3 different games that have this kind of gameplay, not to this extent, but would be something else to play if you're looking for something kind of same thing-ish.
Yes,
So
correct.
that is
If you are looking for it, definitely go with Zombies of Ice. This is the newest one in the series, so if you do decide to pick up the other ones before this, give it some time. They do show their age a little bit.
Well, they're also
and they also
all
have
on
different
PS4.
controls.
They're also all on PS4. Yeah, so you can play everyone. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they show their age. They have different control scheme than this one. This one actually has a float.
Using your nose and tongue.
Has
That trap set and Heavy
How you
Rain.
do it.
Oh my god.
This one actually has a flow chart, so I really liked it. So you can actually see all the different possible endings and possible decisions you could have made. The other ones actually don't.
Yeah.
That's why this one became my favorite out of the series. And that's why I actually gave it, my rating for this is a 9 out of 10. Just because of the beautiful graphics, the compelling story. I'm a trophy hunter, so I'm going through my platinum. It was a very easy platinum. The reason I didn't give it a 10 is because once I platinumed it, there's no need to play it again. The story is already in my mind, so there's no replayability once you platinum it. If you haven't, definitely high replayability on my end, but that's why I gave it a 9. What do you say, Zomby?
No, I haven't beaten the game. I would give it about around an 8 or a 9. Storyline, it's really well written from what I've seen. Graphics are amazing, like you said. Story's great. Voice acting's good compared to the old one. Jason!
Jason!
The voice acting's amazing. There's actual big actors.
It's actually Pennywise just literally coming around with a red balloon to the entire mall.
Choice-wise, it's great. For someone like me who has anxiety when it comes to choices, it's a little bit grating, but for me, it's honestly a 7. I would say it now, I'm not saying your score's wrong or anything, because you've beaten it, you've seen everything, you like it, and that's why it's a 9. That's great. For me, it's a 7 because everything, it checks off all those boxes. But just me as a person, it's not my big deal. So, but if you were to look at graphics and storyline, I'd give it a 9. But if you're asking me in my personal opinion, it would be a 7.
Alright, that's understandable. That's a,
That's just the best way I can.
So it has an average of 8. 8. The average between Crushing and Zombie is an 8. So definitely still a great pickup.
Yeah.
Game.
It's really cheap.
It's
right now,
very
too.
cheap. GameStop,
Yeah.
you can find it. I got it for like $20.
And I know PlayStation has it on sale constantly.
Exactly.
So-
Definitely pick it up. Tell us in the comments what you think of the game, what you think of any of this. Comment down below what you would like us to review next, or get into like topics, or do like a podcast if you want to see any of that, or reviews. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to see more of our reviews or anything on the channel. And as always, gamers, keep gaming.
Bye.